Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as it turns out, the entire Switch 2 Backlash was a lie. And the reason why I continue to do videos on this and people say, is this the hill that you're going to die on? Oh, it's not going to be me that's dying on this hill. Let me make it perfectly clear. Everyone has been wrong about everything. They've been very passionate. You've seen the thumbnails. Angry Joe did a video raging and ranting about $90 for Mario Kart. People have been very upset, very emotional, very outraged. But all of it was a lie. And I want to take this opportunity to break down this entire situation. So, Nintendo had a very successful Direct. Then immediately after, there was just a wave of negativity coming from these quote-unquote stories. The first one was that physical media was going to be $10 more expensive, and that physical media was going to be basically a digital code, that you weren't actually going to have your games on the cartridges. This was a catalyst for a whole bunch of rumors that people then ate up and regurgitated and repeated. A lot of content creators jumped on board, and it just sort of snowballed. Now, turns out that the whole situation about the cards was a complete and total lie. The cards are not going to strictly be game key cards. They are going to have normal cards for most of their games. If third-party companies want to use key cards, they're going to be able to do so, as they can currently do with PlayStation and Xbox, and as they could do with Switch 1. So really, in this regard, that whole thing was a lie. Then we got to, there's just so much stuff, so much misinformation, and the reason why it matters. Some people have emailed me, why does this matter to you? Well, why does it matter? Because the truth matters. And what I've witnessed over the last couple of days, and it doesn't have to be about the Switch, it could be about anything. It could be about literally anything. Watching people lose their mind over a false narrative, watching content creators capitalize on that and spoon feed you bullshit pisses me off. And that's exactly what happened. You were spoon-fed bullshit to emotionally ramp you up. And now that this sort of stuff is slowly being debunked and, crawled back from, now the narrative is, well, graphically the Switch 2 isn't that great. Might as well buy a Steam Deck. And you have YouTubers and content creators that are literally advocating pirating Switch games. And so we're at a point now where this whole thing reveals that these people had no duty of care for the content they were creating. They didn't have any consideration or care about the harm that they were doing. And really, at the end of the day, I'm more offended that I have to be lumped in with these degenerate, disgusting, just morally retarded people that think that this sort of stuff, spreading all this information for money, is okay. Yeah, it's bothersome. It's irritating. And the fact of the matter is that you have people that are saying, well, Trump is responsible. The tariffs are responsible. If you think the tariffs are responsible for this price increase right now, when the tariffs didn't go into effect, the tariffs didn't go into effect until 2 days ago. If you think that's a consideration for this console that's been probably made months ago and is sitting in a warehouse, like, how do I even approach your level of retardation? We face an evolutionary gap in intelligence. The other thing, and this was put out even by Jeff Keighley, was that Nintendo Switch 2 games were all going to be $80, and the physical was going to be $90. This is something that even Jeff Keighley put out there, and I shouldn't say even, like he's some sort of authority. He's the Dorito Pope. But no. On Nintendo's own website, Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be $70. So already there's a discrepancy. Mario Kart World is $10 more. Now, Nintendo doesn't appear to be doing any, what do you call it, battle passes, or they're not doing anything like a lot of these nefarious companies do. Which is why I think that a $10 price increase for this game is perfectly fine. I have no problem with it. But let's also talk about the fact that no one that you've listened to on this topic knows what they're talking about. Because right now, you could go to Target, and they have Mario Kart World on the Switch 2 for $80. This appears to be a physical edition. This doesn't appear to be a digital. Now, I fully admit that this is not it's not the definitive thing. They could change in the next couple days. But in 5 days, we're going to be able to determine, because these pre-orders are going to go live. And there's nothing on this that says this is digital only. So, as it stands right now, the evidence is that the physical copy is $80, which would mean that this entire situation, was a manufactured outrage bullshit machine. And you have people that are upset that I'm not jumping on board like all these other douchebags in the content creator community. Let me be clear. I'm not your mom. I'm not here to wipe your ass and make your bologna sandwiches and your Hot Pockets and to make sure that your Game Boy is running. My job here, as it is to look at the landscape and to give my opinion whether I think something is true or not, whether it's popular or not. And my position is not popular, because right now, hating on Nintendo, virtue signaling, blaming Trump, that appears to be the popular sentiment. And my reaction to that is, I didn't create this channel to be like them. I created this channel to be like me, and to give myself an outlet to speak the truth when everyone else is lying. And everyone else lied. Angry Joe, Young Yeah, you had all of these people, Moist Critical, of course, because Moist Critical lies all the time. It's like all of these people have this sort of just weird thing where the truth is less important than saying something that makes them look good. And that'll never be me. I'm not, I don't care. I genuinely don't care if you think, oh, this is the hill that you're dying on? Yes. Well, no. I'm not the one dying on this hill. I'm not the one dying on this hill. It's anyone who promotes this bullshit who's going to be dying on this hill. If you get my meaning. This is just so obvious to me. And that's part of the reason why I started this channel. Because it smells like bullshit. And everyone's eating it up. They're like, oh yeah, this feces sandwich tastes so delicious. And I'm the only one going, this is shit. No, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to just consume the narrative and get mad because it's a cause. Well, you know what? Your outrage doesn't entitle you to be wrong. Oh, I'm wrong, but it's okay because I'm angry. No. So far, right now, what we see, and this is just from Target, we can look over the coming days as more of these come online. We can look at the price. But as of right now, it looks like on Target it's going to be $80 for Mario Kart World. Now, for me, this doesn't really matter because I'm likely going to be getting the bundle. But if I can't get the bundle, if I can't get my hands on it, then I'm going to be buying this for $80. It's like the price increase, and people have come out to say, well, even $80 is too much. This is an open world, completely innovative Mario Kart game. Something completely and totally different. I'm willing to give it a shot. Some people aren't, and that's okay. But don't make up stories just because you hate Nintendo. Nintendo's the big bad on the internet, so you think it's okay to lie about them and make up stories. It's not. And I will continue to talk about this as much as I feel it's necessary, because there are a lot of people that are saying the opposite. Understand, I'm one channel. But there are channels that are several hundred, several thousand times bigger than me that are just pumping out misinformation like it's sewage into a pristine lake. And I'm just one person, and I'm trying to point out the fact that there was an entire narrative created on falsehoods and misinformation to get people angry, to get them upset, to try to be the first one there. There's no difference between these so-called, content creators, these games journalists. There's no difference between them and the mainstream media. There's none. They will fabricate stories in order to get sensationalist headlines, and everyone will be complicit with it. And I gotta tell you, I don't like the mainstream media, and I don't like these people that perpetuate this stuff. Because there's no verification, it spreads like wildfire, people instantly believe it, and then when channels like mine come along, I got inundated with more hate on this than I have for just about any other topic that I've covered. Which is amazing. Amazing. I've covered Hassan Piker, who's a literal terrorist. Like the guy who glazes terrorists and terrorists glaze him. A propagandist, a guy who's laughed for years about, the most horrific and obscene imagery as just one of the worst human beings in the world. I get less visceral commentary on him than I do on something like this. Because when you are the one person going against the grain, when you're the one person that's standing up to everyone and saying that you're wrong, there's this thing of we want to hammer down that nail. But unfortunately for you, retards who buy into this crap, I am unnailable. That's really, yeah, I'm unnailable. Yeah, no, I'll continue to make videos on this or anything else that I want. I'll continue to expose these people for who and what they are. And if you're mad about that, you can stay mad. You can get fucked. And yeah, that'll do it. I appreciate those who stick around, those who watch. But yeah, the entire narrative around this was a lie. The entire narrative. In 2 days, we went from the Nintendo Direct, oh, that was a great Direct, to some retards making up things on the internet, getting people mad, getting them irritated, but as it turns out, at least from what we know, the game is at $90. This is what we have right now. There's nothing to say this is a digital version. And this is the item that you will be buying the game from. So, the $10 more for physical right now appears to be a lie. Now, here's the thing. If I come back here on, 4/9, 4/12, whenever this comes online, and it's $89.99, I'll come back and I'll do a video saying that I was wrong. But at the same time, I'll also reiterate the fact that I will pay $89.99 for this. I would. If I can't get the bundle, I would pay that much because I know that the game is going to be worth the money. And to all of the Nintendo haters, I don't begrudge you for being mad at Nintendo, with Power World and all that stuff. But it doesn't give you some sort of extra moral armor, some extra moral aura, where you can lie and try to disrupt a company from releasing a game and a new console. And we're going to get in the way. We're going to interrupt that. It's pathetic. Because if Nintendo were as bad as you are saying, you wouldn't have to lie and make up stuff about the story. It would just be that bad. But ultimately, it's for you guys to decide. It is. Whether you support the game, whether you don't, whether you support my channel, or whether you support the pig slop. You have to make the choice. Whether you believe it's more important to be a thinking person, or if you would rather just be drip-fed the drizzling shits from all of these other content creators that just are uninterested in honesty, integrity, and intelligence. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.